Hello, on this episode of The Average Tabletop Gamers, I'm going to be looking at the Kokkyo-3 Market from Micro Studios designed for Infinity Scenery range. Hello there, it's Sven here again, and I'm looking at some more products from Micro Art Scenery. It's some more of their designed for Infinity Kokkyo-3 range. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the way it looks like it should be read out to me. And this is the range that they do that's designed for using with the game Infinity. However, as we've said in some of the previous videos, it is perfectly suited for any of your sci-fi games at around 28 to 32 mil. So I'll jump straight in and I'll show you the terrain itself. I'll show you the actual building. So this is a slightly bigger one. So this here is what we've got now. This is what they call the Kokkyo-3 Marketplace. And it is pre-painted, as you can see, and it's a fairly hefty building. And it's got all the lovely detail on that we've already looked at. So we've got there some logos for a market or for the groceries, home appliances, fresh fish, etc. Some nice details, some air conditioning units on the side. So you can see there we've obviously got quite a lot of options, or quite a lot of detail on there, and I said it is that pre-painted HDF. So this took me about an hour to build. Basically it was a little bit fiddly to start off with, just to get the initial kind of carcasses built, but because essentially you're building two identical pieces, you know, I approached it, I read through the instructions first, saw that was the way to do this, and I kind of built it in stages. So while one was drying, the other one could be worked on. And again, with the modular terrain that you're getting from Micro Art Studio here, these are designed so you can use it in multiple different ways. So we can have it as two separate buildings. So let me just set the roof on that one. We could have it as two separate buildings, and you know, we've got some of these barricades available that we could put on the roof of this one, and I say they're all designed to key into those little beads that are on the thing, which is quite nice again, which just helps that modular nature of it, really. So we'd have it as two like that, or we could stand it up on top of each other like that and have the markets that way. Or, and again, this is one of the ways I think they have it on in their diagrams, you could put them to have back to back. So you've got, again, different configs, or you can even do like cool little offsets of them. So if you want to have like an overhanging balcony, you can kind of get that effect going on. And then, you know, you can obviously add your roof on top at that point. So essentially you're getting one or two buildings here, and you get a bunch of accessories and things. So one of the things I like about this is they give you some nice little bits to decorate, which mean all your buildings can be unique from each other. So here they give you a few different types of aircon units. So in this one I've put two on the side, one on the back. This one I've put one on the front, and I've put one of the double units on the side. And again, it just gives them that little bit of a different feel. And because of the way they've done the pre-painted thing, they've set it up so that when you get the buildings, you actually get different facings on the buildings, so they actually become different buildings. So you're not going to end up with all your buildings looking identical, you know. And it would be very easy for Micro Art Studios to produce another back panel for this, or you could easily just print something out to put over the top there, or paint over it, or whatever you wanted to, again, to make these a bit more variant. We also get some nice little accessories. So if we want the shop to look shut, we get these gratings. Now I haven't glued these in, so I've just left those open, but if I want to, I can just pop those in. So if I'm playing a scenario where actually this building is closed from the front, so we don't want people to get access to the front, we're going to be playing them purely in you know, as bits of terrain, or so you can get inside but you can shoot out but you can't get in or whatever, I can put those grates in, and it gives me just a little bit of a different effect and a bit of a different playing area. We also get these barriers, which, as I said before, you know, you can use these on the top, and you've got options in there. So I pointed this out when I was building the quarters building, that the quarters for the Kokkyo-3 range. So there's one of the barricades from there, and on those ones I'd actually popped out the inserts. But on these ones I've taken the option to leave them in, So it just gives a different look and feel to the two barriers. And of course, there's nothing to stop you using these barriers just as scatter terrain in your games. So again, you've got a lot of options there with those. Let's say they were really easy to build. I did take a little bit of time doing it because of the pre-painted nature. You know, I didn't want to get glue everywhere, so I was very careful with how I put the glue in, and I made sure I cleaned up any glue spillage or any bits that seeped out straight away. In terms of the actual look and feel of the buildings, I think the only thing that needs to be done, or you could do if you wanted to, would be to go over and just kind of touch up a few bits, add a bit of weathering. But actually, do you know what, if what you want is some, if you're just looking for some terrain that you can build and put on the table and play around, this is going to be a godsend for you. Because, as I say, if you're one of those gamers where terrain is something that you have, but you want to spend time building your armies, you want to spend time, you know, getting the units and the tanks painted or whatever, then this is the stuff for you, because you can literally build it and put it on the table. So actually, talking about cost of this kit, so this one here comes in 4 different colours, so I'll just show you the different colour ranges that they do. So there's the front cover from it, and they do it in the beige colour that we've got, or the sandy colour. You've got blue, red or yellow, which you can see there, and of course you can see from the illustration, so if I just point there, you can see you can of course mix and match the colours. So again, you could quite easily get a lot of variation, a lot of colour in your battlefields just by buying a few of these and mixing them and matching them around. As I say, if you want to see a build video, like what these look like to build, I've done a build video of the Kokkyo-3 quarters kit, so that it'll be linked on the channel, but I'll try and put something up there for you so you can see that. Click on that and you can watch that build through. So a slightly longer video with the review and the build together. But as I say, these are easy to build. I think they look stunning, and they're really well styled and themed with everything else. And I've even found out that what is really nice is, because of the way they're modular, you can do nice things. So here is one of those Kokkyo-3 quarters, and I can basically quite easily turn this into a building, just stack that on top of there, and it's actually locked in because of those beads, and we can do stuff like that. So we can put buildings in. We can probably even, and I've not tested this, so this is groundbreaking, we can do some things like building a little pass. This is very hard to do with one hand, I will say that. There you go. We can even do some neat stuff like that, where we can actually like lock the buildings together to create a little alleyway underneath a few of the buildings. Obviously, if you've got quite clumsy friends, I probably wouldn't recommend that one, because, you know, there isn't anything like, it's not a mechanical or a fixed lock in there, but, you know, that would give you a nice, again, different piece of scenery. So you can actually start building these up in a few different ways to get some different looks and feels throughout your buildings. So you can start to create big high-rise blocks easily by mixing and matching a few of these kits. And again, I think that's absolutely perfect. And because they're all styled together, you know, it looks fantastic on the table, locked in like that. But let me just take those out there, because we'll talk about them as they are. So yeah, as I say, this kit will set you back about £30, depending on the exchange rate at the time where you're going in to look at them, because the website is in euros, and obviously you're going to have a bit of shipping on there as well from Micro Art Studios. But actually, do you know what, as I say, considering for unpainted scenery like this, you'll easily pay £30. I think to get some pre-painted scenery that's designed around Infinity and the styled and themed into that game, I think it's perfect. So let's look at some scaling, as I've done with the other ones. Let me just quickly pop this roof back on so we can see it all together. So we're talking about scaling. So for something like Warhammer 40,000 or 40k if you wish, you can see the scale well with Guardsmen. Marines look chunky on this, but actually, do you know what, that's probably a good thing, that actually they do show how big they are. And of course, any vehicles or dreadnoughts or anything are also going to show an appropriate sizing to them. Where I think these buildings really work well is in 28mm scale. So let me just get in our cast members. Let me just get in Judge Dredd and Judge Anderson, and you can see there that they scale nicely against the buildings. And then we can get a couple of perps, a couple of block punks from Mega City 1, and we can show how they look against the terrain. So you know the scaling works really well for 28mm. Anything sci-fi related. So if you're playing Judge Dredd, Strontium Dog, something like 7TV, you know, it's going to be brilliant for that kind of scale. And I think actually, do you know what, for getting some variation and things in your tables, I think these are going to be perfect, really. So that's again been another little quick review of another fantastic piece of terrain from Micro Art Studio in their Designed for Infinity range. As I say, go and check them out. I'll put the links to their store and to this particular kit in the description below. I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. Thank you very much to Micro Art Studios for sending this to us so we can review it. And I say, as soon as we can get this onto a table and get some games played around it, I'm sure it's going to really liven up the table and really make it look fantastic. So as I say, for about £30 that's going to cost you, exchange rate depending. I think you're going to get a great piece of scenery, pre-painted, pre-styled, pre-themed for your table. And as I say, the modular nature of it just means it's got so many options for using on the table. Whether you want it as one building, two buildings, or you want to mix and match with others from this range, I think you're going to get a great piece of kit. So if you want to make sure you keep up to date with everything, all our videos here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notify bell beside that. And you can follow us at all our social media channels, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, which should be on the bottom of the screen right now. Obviously go and give us a shout, give us a like, retweet, etc. So thanks for watching this video, this review of the Kokkyo-3 marketplace or market building from Micro Art Studios in their Designed for Infinity range. Ta-ra!